welcome to the Golden Feeder. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your host Virtek and Chibibri are back from their latest adventure.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Golden Feather. I am today excited to bring Raghnarok. Hello, Raghnarok.
Hi, hello.
And the ever-constant Virtek.
Hi there, everybody.
And this is episode 59. So, getting up there. And nice to hear you too. I mean, see you chat. We have today a kind of double-sided title, Bridging the Gaps, because Raghnarok bridges the gaps between Ashes of Creation and the Spanish-speaking community, and Steven bridged the gaps in our lore. So
I talked about multiple ways of bridging gaps.
Yes. But first, I really want to get to know who you are, Raghnarok. So, hi, welcome. Who are you? Where are you from? And what do you do?
Well, hello. My name is Jordi, but on social media and internet, I'm known as Raghnarok. Although I like people to call me Rag because it's like super cute. And
okay.
First of all, it's a pleasure being here. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for joining
Rag
us.
it is, and thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
And well, I'm Raghnarok, as I said, and I'm a Spanish streamer who makes content about MMO and RPG. And like this last month, I've started creating a lot of videos from Ashes of Creation on YouTube too, because I really want to hard work on the Spanish community of the MMO, because I think it really deserves it.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually, I think that's something that both Virtek and I found really important, and why we were so excited to have you, because we realized, a lot of us speak mainly English. I know Virtek and I do. And so I think it's really important to spread awareness for Ashes by having other people from other languages be able to help us out with that. And that's where you come in. And I think it's really awesome. How long have you been doing that for Ashes of Creation?
I've been following Ashes of Creation for almost 4 years.
Okay.
And I really got encouraged to keep following the game when the Lazy Peon started making videos. And I really like the concept he designed to his videos. I mean, people really get engaged with a short summary about the game concepts and how it's improving and all of the stuff he does. Mm-hmm. So I've tried to search from all these years a Spanish content creator who made something similar and could reach a lot of audience with interactive videos, with rhyme, a good speech, and something like that. But I've really not come to find anything like that. So I've decided to create that videos because I think the community could use them. And I've been creating Ashes of Creation videos from 3 weeks right now, and it's from right now I'm finishing a starting series so that a new player can reach all the content of Ashes of Creation in a brief series of videos. It's like 5 to 6 videos, but nice. I plan to expand it to more focused videos about nodes, character creation, classes, everything.
That's really awesome.
And I can say the one thing I appreciate, and even the reason that you blipped onto my radar, is because I've seen you in some other little circles and discords that are there to help and support content creators in general, help them improve their product. And I've seen you giving some good feedback and really kind of interacting with the community and helping them out with requests that they have for feedback. So that's really cool. That's actually the first time I even caught your name and started looking into all your stuff from that point forward.
I mean, I've made that because I felt comfortable on the community. I mean, I think you as content creator knows, and the audience knows too, because on the official Ages of Creation Discord, there's a channel in which appears temporarily the content creator discourse about Ages of Creation, and the people there is been super kind with me. I mean, BCG has helped me to understand the Discord. Jalong helped me. I was like 5 hours talking on Discord with Jalon, message to message, and he helped me to figure out how to start creating Ages of Creation content. I mean, the people of the Ages of Creation community has been so kind to me, and I really felt like I could pay them the favor of helping me that way.
Oh, yeah, I think that's one of my favorite. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I think that's one of my favorites about our community, is that they're so willing to help each other. Yeah, I see the Jalon heart. Jalon heart. So, do you have any plans for? Yes, cheers for BCG too. I don't have a BCG emote. I'm sorry, but do you have any plans for your content going forward? Any like, for example, we just got a facelift, if you will, for our podcast. Do you have any, like, aside from new I guess content series, there we go, aside from new content series, is there anything that you're planning to work with or work on?
Yes, I do really feel comfortable doing content which is like super analytic and super specific, because I really know how to put my ideas on order. But I want my content to be some sort of lighthouse for people, so that when they need something, they can find that. I mean, when I use YouTube, I don't really use it like a sort of entertainment. I do use it to search for information, and I do really want my content to be expanded on that way. I mean, not only what Ages of Creation can offer, how can you reach information, I do really want to make a interactive community, and that's why I'm trying to develop the Spanish community in that way. I mean, I've created the Reddit and the other day I talked to Allring, and it's right now indexed on the community links on the official Discord. I plan to make a new website, and I would like it to be up on 1 to 2 months from now. I'm just working on all the news and all those things, and keep on with the videos. And nice. I don't know about a podcast on Twitch, because the Spanish community who is really checking Twitch content is not that big, but I think that if I hard work on YouTube and on Reddit and the website, people eventually will feel comfortable and will come to a Spanish podcast too.
Yeah, and that's actually something that we even need to work at, and that's the YouTube content. We need to get our stuff loaded back up on there, because it's been a good point that's been put out many a time, is that YouTube is incredibly searchable. Yeah. However, Twitch is really just not. Like, you can't really do a really good search for past content and whatnot. So if you're trying to reach a broader audience with previous content, you really got to get it up on YouTube, and that's a mistake that we're making. So
well, I mean, there's the mistake, but then there's also changing over editing tools and just getting used to it. And I don't know, as much as I think Vertec enjoys editing, it might be something that we could probably look into for seeing if we can find somebody else who could do a edit for us and be like, this is how we like it edited. Could you possibly do this? Just to offload both of us, because I know as time goes forward, sometimes we just get really, really busy. But that's something that we're actually putting off is not putting off in terms of not doing, but putting off on somebody else is ideas for website creation and stuff like that. Because I'm learning websites, but I don't know how to build it ourselves, kind of thing. So you're talking about having. Go ahead, sorry.
I have some similar experience because a year ago I started learning to do websites too. I've been learning to create videos too, and I mean, there's always an excuse. You always say, when I learn a little bit more, I'll start. When my branding is done, I'll start. And I really decided to put all of those excuses off and starting. I mean, my YouTube channel right now has an awful red banner, but I mean, that banner was nothing. I mean, it's like, because I don't have a cool banner, I'm not gonna make a video, and I try to get past of all of the preoccupations and start doing content. I mean, the content is the important matter. If your content is quality content, people is gonna keep searching it, keep looking at it, keep sharing it. And I decided to start doing it instead of planning it for the future.
There you go. Yeah, you got to get started somewhere. I mean, our graphics started with some really basic, really basic stuff.
Just grab stuff, and I was like cutting things out, and I was like, I think this looks good for
I don't really know to edit that much, but I do talk super quick on my videos.
Yes, you
do. Most of the times when I'm reading, I tend to have that breath over the mic, and it's super noisy. And it's like, I don't really know how to edit the audio of my videos, so I go to the exact moment when I breathe and I cut it up. And it's like that. It's like, I don't know how to do it, but this works.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, you gotta start somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
And I was wondering, what do you do for your website? What is the plan for your website?
The plan for the website is to have a homepage which is brighter, so that you can have a lot of clicks. Right now, website management is like, people don't tend to use any website. They go to YouTube and search info because the video is way comfortable than reading something. When you go on a bus, metro, hearing it is way comfortable than having to read. So I do really want to make a website which has YouTube, Reddit, the forums, everything put together, so that people know that when they search Ages of Creation Spanish, they find all the Spanish resources in only one page. So I plan to make a little summary of the nodes, castles, classes, but not a new wiki, because there's an extension of the official wiki on Spanish. But I mean, it's some sort of silly doing another wiki. But
actually, I had a question. Did you consider reaching out to the wiki managers about helping with some of the translation into Spanish?
I think about it, but I don't really know who's managing it, so I have to investigate it a little bit more, because it's super...
You know, I know who manages. Yeah, Lex manages it. If you want, I can help you. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, because the Spanish wiki is functional, but the majority of the posts of the wiki are linked to the English wiki, they are not translated, so it will be really nice to have a Spanish support.
They were actually looking for translators the last time I saw, so if that's something you're interested in, I would definitely be happy to link you straight over.
Sure.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, I'm already translating them to make my videos, so I mean, it's really like, it's not much of a work.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, there's like 900,000 pages or something crazy like that already.
Yeah.
There's a lot, but I think that, you know, having people that can help with editing stuff is really, really helpful.
Yeah, sure.
So, okay, one other question I have before we get super into today, because I'm more interested about you and your thoughts and views on all of this stuff. But I wanted to know, it sounds like your content kind of focuses on just information, not really like, is it not so much news as much as just making sure that anything that's coming out for English is being also translated out for Spanish speakers?
Mhm.
Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I mean, right now there's a lot of content on English which is not tweeted on any Spanish content creator communities or so. So right now I'm focused on all the English content being able on Spanish too. But on the future, I mean, while I'm doing all of this research, I'm doing all of the translation and the videos, I get a lot of information which I can handle. So on the future, I plan to do other series too, which are more of the let's entertain people. For example, I do really love I don't know who is creating it, but the new series that's been posted on Reddit these last days about let's see if I can ubicate where's the King Atrax dungeon. I think that idea of content is super cool. Because it's like you are making a history timeline, you are making a geographic timeline, and that's super cool. And I would really like to do something like that on the future, but on my own way instead of making the same video, because I don't really want to make same content as other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like jumping on like little breadcrumbs that get dropped here and there. Like I think it was Full Tilt Gamer that did the one that I bumped into anyway.
Yeah.
I think I saw 2 videos about Fax Hollows, but I don't really take the time to see who created them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out, and honestly, there's a lot of people that do cover the same stuff because it's coming out like in bits and pieces. It's a giant chunk here and then a little bit there, and there's only so much that you can really cover.
You have a couple of fans in the chat, and by the way, I just wanted to say, while we are focusing on Ragnarok, thank you guys for dropping by. I know that I might be speaking English pretty fast. I'm aware that just like for you guys with Spanish and me not really knowing, it might sound really, really fast. I'll do my best to be mindful and slow down a little bit to make it easier. I sometimes get very excited and speak very quickly. Okay, let's see. What should we talk about? Well, first, did you know about Simurg and the Pathfinders?
Yeah.
Yes.
Simurg's work is awesome.
Yes, I agree. And you recently saw that they had their 100th episode with Steven. And what were your thoughts on that episode?
I think I've seen that podcast like 3 times because I was getting crazy when I was hearing it. It's like I got tons of theories because I love Ages of Creation lore, and every time they said something, it's like, let's pause the video, let's meditate it, let's keep on.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really handle that ton of information because I really wanted, as Steven said every time, I can say way more than I'm saying, and it's like, no, please, only a little bit more.
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I know that there was so much dropped that honestly, I think if you gave it a second or third listen, you would find new information that you missed the previous time. And I think there's a couple of times where I had to stop and go back and just like, wait, what did he just say? Did I really understand what he just said? Like the gravity of what he just said, as well as how he said a little bit in the beginning, and then a little bit more again that related to the beginning part, and then a little bit more later that also related to the beginning part. And it was just, it was ending up to be this big chunk of lore that was released that we didn't hear before. And I think this is really exciting because of the live stream when they were doing the charity stream and they released the lore about the ancients. And then here on Simurg's stream, we are hearing more about the interactivity of the ancients and this new essence drop, which I think Vertec is just chomping at the bit to talk about.
Oh yeah, like there's a lot that can be inferred from what he did say in there, and a little bit that is kind of exciting from what he did not say.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll get there.
It's not what you said, it's what you didn't say.
It's what you didn't say. So, real quick here though, before we dive too deep into all that stuff, had a quick warm-up question for you. So, have you been following the little choose your own adventure story that they've been going through for Ashes? Like Intrepid's been tossing it out on Twitter and on the forums.
I've been following it, but every time they posted something about the adventure, I was on my stream. So it's like I have some sort of flashes about it.
All right, well, here's the new part. So the newest thing is okay, onward friends. As we reach the base of the mountain range, a radiant burst of energy surrounds us, temporarily halting our movement. Another group of adventurers is closing in, weapons at the ready. And then a little face.
Yeah, I was like streaming when they posted that tweet, and it was like, let's wait, mates. I've opened Twitter and I said them, you all have to vote, and I'm gonna vote right now. And then I stayed all of the stream, because it was almost at the start of my stream, refreshing the Twitter page every single 5 minutes, so that, have they posted anything new? But no.
So, considering that there was a flash of light that halted your movement and then adventurers closing in, weapons at the ready, did you choose to draw your weapons and fight, or run for your life?
Draw my weapons for sure. I'm a Viking. I do have to fight them.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, that's where I went. And
I would run away, but somebody's got to heal that guy. So
I'm a tank. I'm sorry. I gotta draw weapons and start fighting. Too.
As long as I can hide in the back and heal. Although I suppose, to be fair, in Ashes of Creation, there's no more hiding in the back.
Yeah, no more.
But
hiding
I'm a coward,
in the back.
so.
Yeah, I'm a tank. Regardless of if the party stays, my job is to get hit in the face a lot. So.
You can all run and hide. I'll protect you guys, says Psycho.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a tank too, and I'm really curious about having a second archetype of mage, because I would really like to know what's the augment of a mage on the main tank archetype. I think it could be super cool.
Yeah.
It could be very nifty. Very nifty. I'm really curious about the bard.
Let's touch on what Horrendous just said.
Uh-oh.
Horrendous said, I don't get that choose your adventure stuff. I'd rather see the other archetypes like they did with the cleric, which I definitely agree.
They're gonna present the tank on the next few weeks, they said, so I'm not really preoccupied about they not showing any archetype.
Yeah. I think personally, from the RP side, I really like the choose your own adventure side of things.
Yeah, I think the way I look at it anyway is that stuff is kind of filler that's being put out by the community team. And they can't exactly go through and develop the cleric thing and film all the this and that to put together stuff. It's so it's kind of like their own thing they figured out to kind of interact and get the community drawn in. So I don't mind it so much. I don't think they're really taking away time from creating another video for like the tank.
No, it's like while you are working, you are gonna have some off times, and you can decide to use them to engage the community. I mean, if you are active on the main Ashes of Creation Discord, Margaret is always interacting with people. Toast is doing too, even at the forums, and it's like they are doing it while they are resting of their job. For example, yesterday, as I was saying to you before of the stream start, they tagged on Twitter Narked, and it was Steven while he was having his lunchtime. So I mean, it's not really a big deal. They are trying to engage the community, and they do even do that when they are on a off time, because they care about us.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if it's Sam making those. Do you know?
Yeah, not sure. Not sure who's doing that one, to be honest. I know I see Toast
idea.
making the post on the forums, but it very well could be a copy and paste from the Twitter.
I will say though, Hernandez, I know you're worried about the 27 days left until Alpha 1, but I think if Intrepid didn't have things ready, they wouldn't have put out the timeline.
Yeah, I think honestly, I'm gonna be sad because the 27 days is until the pre-alpha testing. I think they had there, so it's still gonna be under NDA. Unfortunately, I can't wait until the April stuff where they can actually talk about it. Everyone testing can talk about things and show it off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Wow, you guys have this countdown going already.
It's almost like they're looking forward to it. Check that out.
I know,
trying
right?
not
What
to
is
take
that?
that countdown because I can't handle the hype. So if I know how many days until they know when the 8, like I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
goodness.
So, like we hinted earlier though, like to jump right into some of the speculation. So who else heard the question that Steven kind of decided he wasn't going to answer? It was something along the lines of do Tolnar have souls? Are they different than those who escaped to Sanctus? And do they work any different? And Steven basically said, eject. I'm not answering any of that except for Tolnar have souls and they can be conduits.
I got super excited about that because that question was so related with all the religion they were talking about all the podcast. I mean, Steven tells what we already know. I mean, he tells that the Tolnar have evolved because they've been on the Underdark all the time since the apocalypse. And that's awesome. But he says some of they evolve physically and they evolve on mind and thinking, but he didn't really reach to talk about religion. I mean, Tolnar are on the world at the same time the others and the ancients are at the world.
Yeah.
So they could really have a brand or a branch of the religion attached to the corruption gods. I mean, if the soul is some sort of communication device between planes or gods, Tolnar could have been like more than 4,000 years hearing the others talk. Mm-hmm. And it's like Steven didn't say anything about Tolnar religion and how they've evolved. And I'm super curious about that. It's like, please talk about how the Tolnar evolved, because I do really want to know if the time the others and the ancients were at the world, they could hear them. And it's like, no.
Yeah, and see, I kind of really want to know, like, along that vein, like, since they were left behind and everyone else escaped to Sanctus, how much corruption seeped into the Tolnar, and could there be some kind of offshoot quests and whatnot, and just parts of the story where it shows that some Tolnar got maybe supremely corrupted? And if you follow the logic, if souls are conduits for essence, and they can be used to travel between planes, if Tolnar souls are not being stated as being the same as other souls, but they are souls and they are used as conduits, maybe they could end up being somehow used as a conduit by the others and the ancients.
Yeah, I have the
reach
same feeling.
The returning people who are thus not able to be used as a conduit by the ancients and others so much as the original seven.
Feeling. Yeah. Because the Tolnar. Let's change the point. Steven said that the essence is like some sort of magic, let's say, which you can attain your domain to. So if Tulnar stayed with the corruption like thousands of years. They are used to the corruption, so they could be really related to the ancients, the others, and all of that corruption.
Yep. And then the alternate theory on that is going to be if they so Vera has magic and Sanctus did not, right? So during all this time, with Tolnar being left on Vera, exposed to all this magic, and he said as people used magic continuously, it would kind of build into their soul would adapt to it and kind of like absorb it all, and they'd be better at that magic. If they were there the whole time and all the other races left magic behind and are now returning to it, maybe Tolnar are going to be with the racial benefits. Maybe they'll be more inclined to magic, and maybe they'll have a different type of magic available to them. And through, as you were saying, maybe even through their religion, maybe it'll be closer tied to certain magic types because they dealt with it for all these years.
Did you catch the part where Stephen was saying that the religion is kind of like a mix of Creole religion? So like the pagan, the overarching Christianity, and a lot of these other just mixed into one. And I think that was super interesting, and it kind of, I think, ties into changeling and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm super excited, and they did a whole lot there with Essence and the manifestation of it and the flow of it, and it was just, ooh. It's really interesting. There's a lot there. It's very exciting.
And if nothing else, it goes to show you just the amount of thought and imagination that went into everything. I mean, granted, he has many years worth of developing it all in depth, but kind of really, really curious to see how this all pans out and where it goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
In
agree.
fact, I'm really curious about Vera because, I mean, gods of the pantheon are super powerful and they are attuned to the pure essence. That's why they are almost perfect, as Stephen said. But the ancients, even with their bodies corrupted, have attuned them to the essence too, in way a lot of time. So why, even if Vera is a creation of the gods, why is Vera the main plane of us, the players, and the four races on the world? I mean, it's the plane with less essence of all the creation. Why is Vera so important? So, I mean, it will be easier to fight, create races, and control the creation on a world with way more essence because the power is brighter for all of them. So why is Vera, which should be the less powerful world, the most important part of the creation?
Yeah.
Gets the mind working. Like maybe all those souls as conduits give those who are using essence more power if they can access it through these conduits.
More power.
Yeah, it feels like if they put those conduits there, it's because there's something on Vera that they need to control.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious about that.
Actually, I was really intrigued with the idea that
Jack says, "Hold my beer."
I was really intrigued by the idea of what he said when he said that some of the ancients or others used the essence to manipulate the creations done by the bigger gods that we are able to worship. And I thought that was really interesting. And I'm kind of interested in seeing where that goes.
I had that assumed. I mean, the others and the ancients are fighting the pantheon because they felt like they left aside them. So the way to fight the pantheon is corrupting their creation. That is the thing they love the most.
Yeah.
And that's why your question is like, I feel it's related to what I was saying, because like why is Vera the creation that important?
Yeah.
Why you decide attacking there instead of attacking the font of the power of the gods? Which would be easier to defeat them. But instead of defeating the gods, you try to manipulate their creation. It's like, do you really want to fight the gods, or do you only want to mess with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead. You guys can keep chatting about this. I'm just going to let everybody else know. I'm swapping over to the video thing just to show off a couple of really, really awesome fan-made animations.
All right. So, yeah, that, I don't know, man. There is so much that we could talk about with all that and go really in depth. I do, however, want to leave something to the imagination for everybody. Definitely go check out the entire interview that Simurg had done, or Simurg, sorry. It is worth your while. Oh, yes, it is. If you haven't checked it out, most people here probably have already watched it, but in case you haven't, do now. Just drop the link there in the chat.
You know, sorry, what Horrendous just said resonated with me. And it's, I think, something that we talked about before, where the concept of good and evil is purely standpoint. Whose standpoint are you looking at? Yeah.
Yeah, and if they think they're the good guys, it's just like, I think we mentioned it last week with like Prometheus bringing fire to humans. Like, it's going to benefit humanity. Why not? Just share it with it.
Yeah. I think the others weren't bad at the start. They only wanted to share their knowledge with the ancients. But when the other 7 get mad at them, it's like, hey, we have to defend what we've done. It's not like they are real evil. Maybe, yes, they are now, because they are trying to corrupt the world. But the first action of showing the essence to the ancients, I don't really feel like it's a bad thing. It's only a point of view.
Yeah.
I mean, it could also be a thing, like, depending on the outcome. Maybe they didn't mean for the ancients to be created in such a way, and maybe they just forgot to clean up their mess, so to say. Like, oops, whatever. And they just kind of like, it's like burning dinner. It was totally a mistake and you should get rid of it, but they just left it on the counter instead. They forgot to wipe it off.
But it's like the ancients didn't really made something bad with the essence that we know. So why did the other 7 get so mad? I mean, like, they felt powerless against the ancients because they knew the same secret of them. It's like they felt in peril and they fight them. But it's like, it's super vulnerable.
Yeah, it's like Greek mythology with the Titans and the gods. Their children, and they rose up and defeated the Titans and locked them away.
Yeah,
but I don't feel like the ancients were going to attack the 7 gods. I think I feel it like the 7 gods felt some peril of the ancients knowing the essence and attack them. We don't really know what happened from. Yeah, we know that they don't really like the fact that they know the essence, but there's not a initial fact that made them start that war. Only that they don't felt comfortable with that. I would like to know a little bit more.
Like, how do we know we're not worshipping the bad ones?
Yeah, the victors rewrite history.
Right?
Could be history as we know it is the others are the bad ones. Yeah. But the history in reality is that the others are the good guys and the bad guys won and rewrote everything.
In fact, when the apocalypse succeeds, it permits, with the meteorites that appear on Verra, the ancients and the others could walk on Verra because the corruption expands of the world. So why are we capable of returning to Verra? And why, while we return, ancients and the others do only appear on the bottom of a dungeon instead of being on the world? It's like they win, they corrupt the world, they do the apocalypse, they disappear. It's like a lot of missing holes there that I need to refill right now, and I don't know why.
But yeah,
so
are
much good
we the
stuff there.
baddies? We could very well be the baddies and we don't even know. Maybe what we thought is corruption is actually, what's it called? It's one of the cleric, getting rid of the corruption. I forgot what it was
Like
called.
cleansing.
The purge.
Cleansing. What if it was just a
No.
cleansing, you know? And
Yeah, probably.
you know, I won't. I'm a Tulnar. But yeah, the Sanctus players are so excited to be able to use magic that they created 7-headed swan.
Yep. I mean, that's something of both nightmares and dreams that I'm not sure which way that really heads, because everyone always gets nervous about the whole goose attack thing. What would you imagine a 7-headed swan doing when it gets ticked off?
I would just run. I would see that. I would tuck tail and go the other direction, because I don't know if you've ever seen, like he said, the goose attack, but that's just like 7 times the horror. No, thank you.
They've made pamphlets for surviving goose attacks. I mean, not really surviving. That's a bit extra, but you know, how to escape one without the goose. I guess. Tearing your shoes apart. I don't know.
I wouldn't feel so comfortable with that.
Me, my thing is, I'll just carry around a super soaker and just squirt them.
The goose is the final boss.
Goose is the final boss. Yes.
Rabbits are the final boss.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's something, like, without getting into the weeds, talking about their entire discussion on it. If you watch Simorg's video, this will make sense. If not, just understand that Vertec, me, myself, it is my humble opinion that all bunnies are monsters, okay? All bunnies are monsters, not just some of them.
Bunnies.
Not just there are going to be bunny monsters. Just
would
all
you like
bunnies
to
are
tell them
monsters.
why you think bunnies are monsters?
Because I've never met a rodent that didn't bite me.
I
Not
will
one.
say that bunnies are delicious because we here in Spain eat them
Yes,
on the paella.
they are.
So if you permit me hand them, I don't care about the big monster of any sort of mob. I will hand them to the paella.
Yes,
now you have to tell them.
every rabbit, every hamster, every gerbil, everything that is in the rodent class has always bit me when I go to pick it up or play with it or whatever, no matter how
hamsters are
lovable
super
they
cute.
are.
I know, right, Holner?
Here's a horrific story from when I was a child. And this one's terrible. So when I was younger, my brother and my sister and I, we had a duckling and we had a bunny, right? And we thought it would be adorable when spring came around, and it was, you know, that's when all the little baby bunnies and ducklings are made, right? Well, it was Easter, and we were like, let's let them play in the yard. And we had them out just hopping around, and little bunny decides to run up and try to eat the duckling. Like, grabs the duckling, like its whole wing in its mouth, and starts hopping around the yard with a duck in its mouth. What bunny hops around with a duckling in its mouth? That's terrible.
So now he thinks bunnies are evil. And
They are.
Guys, I need your help, okay? For Christmas, I want to get him those, like, rabid killer bunny slippers.
Okay. Yeah, those I'll accept. That's an accurate depiction.
Can you help me, please? Because I think that'd be adorable, and also, you know, like you said, accurate description of how much he hates bunnies. My feeling about monkeys.
I definitely help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Horrendous said, the rabbits in pre-alpha and whatnot that they're showing, yep, those are accurate depictions. What everybody else sees when they're like, rabbits are so cute. No, that's just a facade. Okay.
I'd really love to have some sort of Dark Souls fake chests with rabbits. I mean, you see a super cute rabbit on the road and you go to pet it and he shows you their fangs and it's like, oh no, it's a real monster, not a cute rabbit.
They're playing possum, a rabbit playing possum.
Yeah.
That's what all of them are doing right now. They're trying to multiply so fast so they can take over the world. One finger chomp at a time.
See, I told you bunnies aren't evil.
It's just planning. It's trying to fatten up the kitty for its own twisted version of Thanksgiving. That's what it is.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, we will be here next week, I believe, for your Well, there's like Black Friday. There we go. Black Friday. So if you happen to not choose to get caught up in Black Friday, we will be here.
Yes, for those of you who are like us and will be not like traveling for the family thing and not going out for Black Friday, please feel free to swing on by and say hi.
Yep. And raging rabbits over here. Crossover. Oh yeah. Raging raving rabbits crossover. I like it.
Oh,
I'll be home.
and here, by the
Perfect.
way, something to check out between now and then is this post on the forums. Kind of impressive. It was by, I'm going to butcher this name, but I'm going to enjoy butchering it. It's a post on the forum by somebody named Cathartidae. Cathartidae? I don't know. I told you I was going to butcher it, and I did. It's titled The Celestial Promenade, a speculative, archetypical Vec economic metropolis. It's a mouthful of complicated words. But all I needed was speculative Vec metropolis. But it's super in-depth.
That got him.
Yeah, the Vec. Exactly. And economic. I mean, I'm not like a super trade war winning amazing economic person, but I like to have fun in the trading house and all that. But it's a super deeply thought out and designed metropolis. I thought it was a really fun read, and I think you guys should check it out as well if you have not already.
Very interesting.
That post is amazing.
Yeah.
I think Jalon have some sort of similar discussion like 2 weeks ago on one of his streams about city design, because there's a lot of MMOs who try to make a city design which is cool the first time you see the city. Mm-hmm. But if you do really play a lot to an MMO and you've seen the city 1 to 10 times, it's okay. But when you have to do commerce, auction house, warehouse, all that stuff, and one is northwest, one is south, the other is at 10 yards, it's like, please put it together. So this post is awesome because thinks about a lot of that and making a good looking city too. Yeah.
And see, that's...
Right. I was typing this out, but real quick, that's it. I'm making a Vec Oracle, and I'm naming it Chibi Vec or Chibi Orc. One of those two.
Yeah, they are definitely the smaller of the orcs. Like the other ones are just monsters, like absolute monsters. And the Vec decided to study astrology and such, so they're just kind of chill little people. I mean, not as little as like dwarves, but still little.
Hey, I'm not as short as a dwarf, but I'm not much taller either.
And for those who are curious, did you post the link for the those animations there, by the way?
I did, but if you'd like to repost it, that is just as fine as well.
I missed that. Yeah, I'll post it again because you guys should definitely check that out.
I'll just go back real quick.
Kudos.
So
the horse animation is awesome.
Yeah, this is by Creepy Sasquatch on Reddit, on the official Reddit for Ashes of Creation. Chibi Orc sounds good. Yay.
You may or may not be trying to hit them up for a custom for our channel. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, because something like that would be really, really cool. I think they did a really good job. This is my favorite just because I think it's so pretty. But I'm also kind of weirdly partial to purple blue colors. Pink's my favorite, but if you're gonna do a mixture, this looks really pretty.
I won't say I like blue because I think it's obvious. So that Phoenix is super cool too.
Yeah.
Horrendous. Yes, that killer bunny. Yes, that is another accurate depiction. That is another accurate depiction.
I'm just gonna cycle through these again real quick, just because the horse is really cool too.
Okay, while you do that, post up another Reddit discussion that people are getting into, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, Rag. And it's
oh sure.
The idea, they say, please don't have a gear system that requires you to slot 90% of the stats to make it usable. Now, in the discussion, they mentioned things like Lord of the Rings, where you get basically a piece of gear and then you have to keep putting in other stuff. It ends up really weak, but you got to keep pumping in things into it to make it stronger and stronger and stronger. And in their view, they would rather have it to where you need to constantly be earning gear. That way it never loses its shine. You never go, this old piece of crap, I need something new. Instead of just juicing up, I want that shiny new car feel. I want that shiny new car smell. I want the new toy.
Mhm.
What's your thoughts on that?
Okay. I don't really like MMOs progressions about stacking a set stats. I mean, let's take the example of arcades. On arcade, you had to have a full set of armor so that you could have the best stats. And I don't really like that system because it's like you're super punished if you didn't have luck that week on the drop or something similar. But if you make some similar system, for example, like I think it's the Elder Scrolls Online, that if you were 3 pieces of heavy armor, you have a bonus. If you have 4 pieces of heavy armor, you have another bonus. 5 pieces, it's the full bonus. It's better because you can decide if you use whole set of heavy armor or you decide to have not the full heavy armor bonus, but instead you have the 3 pieces bonus armor plus 1 leather piece and 1 cloth piece because you need those specific stats to your build. I think it's way more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I think I like something in the middle. Like I do like the idea of obtaining something that's so amazing that it powers up with you in the right circumstances. I like the idea of that, but I don't want it to last forever. I don't want it to be like the 5th weapon you find after hitting like the max level or whatever, and then you carry it on for the rest of your gaming experience. That sounds really dull. But having it around for say 6 months and you're powering it up, but then a new raid tier comes out and you guys find a new treasure trove of things, and then maybe you don't get something you can power up that time, but the raid tier after that. So you have like a whole year worth of cooldown of going to find an adventure to find new and fantastic weapons and items, and then you find something else that's worthy of just sitting there and powering up. That I think would be pretty cool.
That's something that worries a lot of people about Ashes of Creation, because like Ashes of Creation doesn't really have a high end. It's more like a cycle. So if the cycle is designed from the start of the game, how are you going to introduce those new weapons so that the sets keep evolving?
Yeah.
It's way difficult than normal because seasonal events, world events, node events, the majority of the events are already proposed and are being worked on. So how can you keep increasing the game content and have the balance stable? It's something difficult.
Yeah.
And like the game is still not out. People is on really thinking only about the day the game comes out and how you can progress to the max level. But what happens when the game is out? You've been playing a year, the cycle is redoing one another time, and the game devs have to introduce a new event. How are they going to do so that what Vertex says is possible? Because I feel the same way.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, no matter what they do for a system like that, there's always going to be a point where new stuff is introduced. So I don't think anything would ever get really bland or boring. They would have a reprieve from designing new weapons, but also maybe designing new effects that you could have because of, let's say you open a lava-based dungeon and you end up finding like gems and this and that you can infuse into your weaponry to add lava damage. And the very next raid tier is going to end up being plant-based. So those lava weapons that you just earned in the previous raid are going to be extra effective against the next raid.
Yeah.
But you just spent an entire raid tier powering up those by adding features from that raid tier and keeping the same one weapon.
Yeah, it'd also be frustrating to have to constantly power up new things over and over every time a new raid came out or something.
That's something interesting, because if you plan the raids so that the new raid can be bonused with a previous raid items, it permits players who've been playing since the start of the game to look for new items, while players who just started the game can search the Optimus items instead of having to do all the progress. And that's cool, because if we take the example of World of Warcraft right now, for example, they use corruptions, and it's a borrowed power system that really doesn't work, or where the expansions has a year you have to do all the progress of equipping instead of going to the last piece of equipment. And it's a really interesting way of planning the game, what Vertex said. I think it could be work really good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Which archetype do you think would be the least popular in Alpha 1? The ones that you can't play. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good question, honestly. I don't even know which ones are...
the least popular in Alpha 1. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I see, I think with only 4 of them, right? For Alpha 1?
Yeah, I think.
Well, there's going to be Cleric, Tank, Mage, Ranger, and I want to say there's a 5th one. No, Bard's going to be like the last one they do. That and Summoner are going to be like the last 2 that they make.
Fighter.
Yeah, Fighter. Yeah, to have the other. Yeah.
I mean,
feel
honestly,
like Tank, because you are on an alpha, you are gonna test the game, look for bugs, and a tank is usually gonna be slower to kill and progress than other classes. So I think when the game releases, tank is a good option. But for an alpha and making tests, I think you want something cool, quick, and that makes damage. So I could say tank would be the less popular.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if I was pressed for an answer, that's exactly what I would say too, because people they won't want to invest a bunch of time leveling up and getting anywhere with a character that's going to be wiped, and then they got to start over anyway. So
but the Cleric is so cool, and it's a support, but is not that support. So I'm excited about tank reveal, because I would like to know if it's that tanky or if it has tons of damage like Cleric shown. So I'll have to wait to the tank reveal so that I can have a stable opinion.
Yeah, my prediction is there's going to be a lot of people that are going to do tank right away to try it, to get a feel for it, and then they're not going to touch it again until the consistent alpha or persistent alpha comes up.
Yeah, that's the most probable. At least until February. On April, we do have a month of game test. Maybe it's different, but I don't know. It's Alpha 1 is only like 8 nodes playable, so I think you're not gonna have that much content to get a super long experience. So I think you'll have time to test different classes and max them on the Alpha 1 established system.
Yeah,
well, the Alpha 1's probably going to be limited to a really low level anyway, so you should be able to get there fairly quickly.
True.
Sure.
I know they're trying to keep a lot of the lore out until launch.
Yeah, so they almost have to stay at low level limits because of that. Because once you start getting into level 20, like, you got to have a lot of quests, right? Which are going to leak a lot of lore. So the only way to keep lore out of it is to keep it low level.
They have to be so careful, because every time a node level ups, there's more guests and NPCs. So if they don't really want to reveal that much on Alpha 1, they want to have to be really careful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think that's partially why they're going through a lot of it. I've seen a combination of just like when we have an NDA thing that we can't talk about, they end up releasing video before we get to talk about anything because they want to be the first, right? So I'm sure we'll have a lot more information, even if we can't talk about it, that are coming from this. And Shinaz, I don't know how to say of the ashes from the ashes.
Shinaso.
Shinaso From the ashes. Sorry about that. I think that's what their Pathfinder book is. There is a Pathfinder book that 10K backers got, which that's my college fund, so no thank you. But, you know, it's super amazing, and that's what they use for the live streams for charity, was the Ashes of Creation Pathfinder lore book that Steven has, which is why he has such a struggle with not telling us all the things. So,
and honestly, if they're smart, they'll end up probably releasing a new one at the every major release tier of the game.
it's a great question. I haven't heard anything about that, but that's a great question to ask Steven, especially for their live stream update coming up here soon. I think next week.
Yeah, 30th, I think it was.
Yeah. So.
But I think for today, maybe start wrapping up here. Been on.
Yeah, I think so. We had a lot to talk about, and I'm really glad to hear your point of view, Ragnarok or Rag.
Right. So
it was my pleasure.
Do you have any words for the mass populace out there? Like any social medias you want to push out? Any ideas or whatnot? Just comment.
No, they can really find me here on Twitch with my user, and there's all of my info on the description on my channel, but I don't really feel like I'm gonna spam that much. Only my Twitch, and that's all. I mean, I'm gonna post all of my content on the official Discord, and I'm always there trying to help people and answering questions. So you can find me on Discord, and that's what matters, that people feel comfortable and gets their thoughts or inquiries resolved.
Yeah. You guys, his @ symbol is for both Twitter and if you do twitch.tv/ his username Raghnarok, the way it's spelled. By the way, his Twitter is a 0K, not an OK, but the font doesn't have a way of distinct.
Yeah, it's like my name here on Twitch. On Twitter is with a
0
O
instead.
On the second.
Yeah.
Because Ragnarok with the O was taken, and it's like, no, I had to put that 0 there, and I didn't really want to do it.
Well, that's like us with the golden feather.
Yeah, we just have a feather. No.
Yes, so that on Twitter.
Yeah. Yes, Rag is a very nice guy. Would you like to join us, Rag, for raiding Simmerg, who is currently streaming, what's that called again? Among Us?
Sure.
We'll go give them some love, and honestly, it was really awesome having you on. If you would like to join at another point, just give us the word. We'd love to have you on again.
Yeah, normally we'd end up going to raid Tavern Side because he's usually the only one streaming at this time, but hey, Simorg's on
yeah,
chat.
sorry,
Yes,
son.
Sunfrog.
You missed the entire
we
thing.
miss seeing you. But I want to thank everybody for even stopping by today. I know this isn't a normal day, but I had a migraine yesterday, and I don't know if you've ever had one of those, but when it hurts so much, it makes you get sick to your stomach. It's just not a good day. But yeah, so I thank you for rescheduling, Rog, and being okay with flexing till today. It's much appreciated.
Yeah.
And
he's feeling much better
you.
if you guys can't tell.
Yes. I usually die for like a day when I get sick, and then I'm great the next day. But I pretty much am just rolling over dead when I get sick or get a headache.
Yeah, and he was trying to push through. He was like, I'll be okay. Give me a little bit. I said, hey, we've been really good about being on time and everything. If you are sick, please don't push yourself, because it's worse pushing yourself, especially with a migraine. So,
yeah, that's
thank you.
The nap didn't work.
No.
But yeah, thank you all so much for your time. You spent it with us, and it's greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Every little conversation that we have that includes an extra person is always welcome.
Yes.
So appreciate it.
And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next Friday, our normal time, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific. And is it 1 a.m. in Spain for you?
Yeah,
when we
it's
started?
1 a.m. here.
Oh, goodness. Well, thank you for giving us your time. And
Don't worry.
we look forward to having you on and seeing where your content goes. And for the rest of you,
It was my pleasure exposing it here.
Ah.
And it was a cool chat. Thank you for the invitation, as I said before.
yes. We're super excited to see people get more exposure to Ashes, where some of us can't really help. So if you guys would join me, we're going to go raid Simorg and give him some love, because he just had his 100th episode. If you haven't seen that yet, please go check it out. Did you do the rave thing yet? No, Ashes of Nair. That cost money, which we don't really have too much of. So, all right, here I go. Reading. I don't know if it worked. I have to go do it on my own.
It's not counting down.
Yeah, I have to go do it on the actual Twitch thing. Hold on. I will go grab that real quick. Channel. All right, here we go. Let's try that again. Reading. There we go. Thank you guys for joining, and we will see you next week. Stick around for the raid.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.